What is going on with my scene switcher? Holy shit, it has been getting more and more inconsistent as time goes on. I might need to completely reconfigure it. Let me try this one more time. It's probably gonna fuck up again, but who cares? I hate it. What's going on? Why is it doing that? Oh well. Oh, that's not important for now. Welcome to Destinies, Case 5. What was it? All of yesterday, my internet was out. So I gotta do some extra legwork today. I'll probably stream again tomorrow to finish up the other half of it, but I'm gonna get through as much as I can today, and then we'll see what we do there. Yo, it's almost Christmas! They took Athena from the courtroom, straight to the station. Probably being questioned at this very moment. After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But now, Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. My pursuit of the truth has only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah. Seems so empty, too. Just don't get it, Daddy. All your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was. At least, based on what we know. Now, Athena is the one who's being accused. Yaksa! During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, a lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I'm racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Where's the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial's tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go, then. We're on a hunt for evidence that'll prove Athena's innocence. Great. But before we go, I'd better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Left at the office. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned. Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. Present badge! Old dialogue, I see. Oh, whoops. Sure. Still can't believe Apollo really left us. It was so sudden. Maybe he got tired of being my assistant for my magic tricks. I don't think it's your fault, Trucy. But I made him clean the toilet a lot. And I made him go bring in the newspaper. It was my fault. I just know it. Oh, Apollo. I really don't think it was your fault, Trucy. But I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either. How could they suspect Athena? It's just ridiculous. It must be some kind of conspiracy. A conspiracy, huh? Well, it certainly is some kind of mistake, that's for sure. First of all, we have to bust Athena out of the detention center. Then, we have to chase down the people who framed her. We'll sneak around the world from Kiev to Carolina with the fuzz hot on our tails. Isn't that exactly the same as the plot of the movie you watched the other day? Alright. Movie plotting is a real way to investigate. Hello, Cass. Thank you for the crab missile. Oh, hi. Director Cosmos. Director Cosmos, do you have a minute? Galactic Scooter, full speed ahead! And there he goes. Director! Oh, he scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Let's catch him at the boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey! Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yep, and I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted. Just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. Hey look, I've got a badge! Never mind. Oh, actually, yeah, let's take a look at this lighter real quick. Never mind. Alright, talk to me. About the murder. Still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I haven't the foggiest idea. So there never was gonna be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. Wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police though. They say they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Just as I thought. The culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So, was the person you saw holding a gun Mr. Starbuck? Wait, what? Oh, so was the person you saw holding a gun Mr. Starbuck? There we go, that's better. I couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if that person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Yes. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean, the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure, just let me have my print scanned here. Do the launchpads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right, because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear you. Times sure are tough. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Oh, hell yeah. Why is there a leaf here? Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are a lot of trees around the Space Center. She's right. It's a modern, state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know, if they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more brushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch on the corridor and they came in that way? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know? So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep. This one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints when they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into Boarding Lounge 2. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. Alright, that means it is time to, never mind, talk more. Talk less. Move back to the entrance? I thought we were going to go into the museum, but I guess not. Curse the wretch who's sullied my good name! Reverse course and full speed away! Director Cosmos, wait! And there he goes.
I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that!
The mobility system has been compromised! Shuzi's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. And the streak continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. My dear old battleship. We fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor.
Daddy, he's gonna blow that thing up?
Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably. Badge! He hates it! Alright. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. This center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner! Magatama time. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his psych locks if I want to get to the bottom of this.
Take that!
Alright, old man. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse! You can't make me! I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now, let's see, where to start? This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injuries from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the space museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication. But without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off.
Take that!
You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Someone please help this poor prisoner of war! How is he able to spin around like that? With a popped tire? If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you just call off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone through all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronauts' safety. But it was just a warning. It could even have been a prank. Why did you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Oh? I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. And besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said, "It's been a while?" And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously. Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before? Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should have said Hat 1 bombing and just gone for it. It was a courtroom bombing, wasn't it? That's when you were dealt a major blow. Do you really think blowing up a courtroom would have shaken the center of the cosmos? I guess I got it wrong. The director felt personally threatened, so it had to be something more relevant to him. Hat 1 miracle. The Hat 1 miracle. That epic story of survival. People across the nation know it as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer. Wasn't it? Also, there might be dogs barking in the back. Bjork! Very few know about the previous plot, so when the caller said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real. And it wasn't a prank. Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? Yes, the Hat 1 miracle really was a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in that fight. Fight? Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and then the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. It was Klonko! The hunk of junk! Wait, huh? Lost the life of one of his staff members in the fight. Let your guard down. Thought the saboteur had been caught, and the case was closed. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. I mean, I don't have anybody who was there 7 years ago and is currently in the status of being caught. Wait. Oh, right. Simon Blackwell.
Take that!
Murder. Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought he committed both crimes. While Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you keep seeing straight through me? Oh. And now he's a haggard old man again. Oh no, he's just dizzy. Why'd you do it? The reason why Director Cosmos wouldn't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. Sabotage and murder that happened at this Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago. You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. And that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered.
Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism.
All that, in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy.
A spy? You mean someone who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions, and always gets the girl?
Someone's watching way too many late night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of a sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think?
Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy.
Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation.
They did indeed. And then, to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. And that was the Hat 1 miracle, wasn't it? Then, 7 years later, the same MO. Advance warning the sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder. And they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched the launch pads, and I staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center right before and switched the launch pads. Right before, night before. That way the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then I put a closed for repairs sign at the door to Launchpad 1 in boarding lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Taryn. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it? He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until...
Clay's murder, huh?
After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort, Aaron is dead, and the Hat 2 is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos. My beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for! Wait, what did he mean by the Hope capsule was lost in that blast? I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Terran. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. Asteroid samples. He doesn't have them in the first place. I knew it. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1. But I gave it to Terran before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that, with it safely in Terran's possession, he could make it look like he rescued it during the staged miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway. But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe. You must understand, the launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence, and was blown to smithereens. Oh shit. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? Police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I used this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launchpad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion, and planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spies behind the incident, this incident and the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. Then, this gray man must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. So, if we can find this phantom... That's right. We can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell, too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if, though. I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. But if we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in! It's all over for me. Spin, spin, whirl, whirl, I'm done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed. You think he's going to be all right, Daddy? Well, at least he'll be in good company. Must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission, too. If you want to learn more, start with a space museum. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me, I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds. It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Look at him go! Let's move. Yaksa. Let's see, where's the exhibit on the launch pad 7 years ago? There, that's the Hat 1 exhibit. Oh, wow! Look at that photo of the team! There's Clay and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Ara Blackwell, even Ponko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Everybody looks so happy. Well, except for Director Cosmos. Let's check out the newspaper article too. At-1 launch imminent. And there's a photo of the Hope space probe. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. Really, we're keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket. Must be the Hat-1 team's uniform jacket. The same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by a Hat-1 team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it was Mr. Starbucks. Can we investigate this jacket and see why it was torn? Hello? Oh, Miss Woods. What brings you here? I heard Thena got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be here, at the scene. He must be so worried. But rest assured, I'm gonna do my very best to defend her. Thena's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? What? You didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell me more in detail? Badge! I'm very sorry, but I don't know anything about that. No, I made her cough. Okay, sorry to bother you. I guess she doesn't have any leads on that. Thena's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. But why was a psychology specialist working at a space center, a space research facility? I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here, so Thena lived here too. So it was far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it. She probably didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her. Sad memory? A sad memory? Can you tell me about it? There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago. The same time frame as the Hat-1 launch. Thena's mom, in the robotics lab, with the katana. She was murdered. What? And after it happened, Thena stopped coming to school. Poor Thena. And all this time she never let on at all. So worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years. So the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Court's case? That's right. I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person. So cheerful and happy. What was Athena like as a child? She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around. Must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices. She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. Huh. wonder what kind of research it was. Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. Maybe that's why we became such good friends. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Ooh, Daddy, show her that picture. Atta girl. Good idea. Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me? Never mind. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is one. Good. Oh, look! There's Athena's mom! The woman on the far right. The one in the kimono. That's Dr. Metis Sykes. Athena's mother's murderer. Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hat 1 launch? What? Why, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch. Just as I suspected. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime prosecutor Blackwell was convicted of? The murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case. There is? Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please, try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So, we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. We've got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fit it all in before the day is through. Detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Lawyer. Fancy meeting you here.
Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. You're on business?
To tell the truth, I'm here to interview the Ted Tonate.
The one behind the courtroom bombing incident?
He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible, I just had to come right over to hear more.
Incredible? What was he saying?
Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself?
Really? Us? Are you sure?
Ha 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 ha! I give you my special permission. Here comes the bomber now. Here comes the bomber now. You! What nerve you have to come here! You're here to laugh at me, I suppose?
I can't waste my breath on you. They let you keep all that? After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital.
Violence? No. Question? Okay.
No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine. Just answer me this, Mr. Tonate. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up?
No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room.
What are you talking about? Who else could have been there?
I saw it, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed.
What?
I don't know who it was, but that's who blew up the courtroom.
You expect us to buy that? Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psych locks, so I guess he must not be lying.
Pardon me, I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth. I did not detonate that bomb. And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it.
Hey, look at that. That's a familiar little piece there.
We haven't found any new facts yet, though.
Wow, they've laid it all out, piece by piece.
Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces.
I wish I could have them. Uh-oh. Looks like his geek switch has been activated. Phony Fanty Bomb has been re-added to the court record.
Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning.
No, anything but that.
I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was just about to question Miss Sykes.
You're going to see Athena now?
That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? Well, off I go. Ha 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 ha.
What bad timing. Like we'll have to wait until after her questioning is over to see her. And after we came all this way, too. Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Judge Tron, JT02.
Why does the Judgetron have a spike ball? So, this is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge. And where people were directed to evacuate from via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots. Daddy, look! Over there! Over there!
It's Apollo!
So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Apollo and Aura Blackwell. I wonder what they're talking about. Well, well. Come to spoil our fun? Just when I was enjoying our alone time.
Trucy. And Mr. Wright.
If it's Apollo you want, you can't have him. He said he's investigating on his own.
And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate this lab.
Well, this is my lab, so you'll need my permission if you want to do any snooping.
Badge!
Yeah, she still doesn't care. Let's talk. I heard about the trial. You made mincemeat out of the director. And suddenly Starbuck was out and your little subordinate, the princess, was in. Case closed. And they all lived happily ever after. Daddy, say something to her. And I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right?
The princess, huh? Guess she's talking about Athena. Of course. Athena is innocent.
Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. The emotionally unstable princess. There's your culprit for you. Don't you agree, Apollo?
I don't know yet.
Apollo! How could you? What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you. Or should I say, former subordinate.
Can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena?
All this laughing has me worn out. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sickbay?
Mr. Terran?
But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost. Mr. Terran, how are your injuries? Mr. Terran.
Mr. Terran,
how are your injuries? Mr. Terran. I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that murdered him. Oh, and to haunt the lawyer that defends her too, of course.
A robot that can see ghosts? Yeah, right. And I'm a spirit medium.
Sorry, but apparently scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Athena, no matter what you have to say about it. How perfectly foolish. That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Could you tell me about the incident 7 years ago? Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in their wounds? Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return? I'd like to hear about that incident too. It helped me understand the current case better. Huh? Apollo knows about that case too? Well, if you're the one who's asking Apollo, come on, hunk of junk. You tell the story. Miss Aura, that's private information. If you won't talk, I'll just have to make you talk. Yes, who cares about personal privacy? Not me! I am ready to utilize my blast processing abilities to impart all available information. Wow, what a magic trick. He's like a completely different robot now. The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura. I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much, much younger then. Yikes, better watch what you say if you don't want to get recycled, Clonko. And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Meta Sykes. Hearts? Robots with hearts? Can you even make such a thing? Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. The two navigation companions created by Miss Aura and Dr. Metis transcend humans. Gah! Metis. Huh? She just glanced over at her desk. Nobody could continue Metis' research. She and her work were truly one of a kind. And now, the two navigation companions are all that are left of Metis here on Earth. Robots are all that's left? Isn't she leaving out a very important someone? We built the ultimate creations together. But now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes loved her robots almost as much as she loved her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend Clay. I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat. Miss Aura, would you like a tissue? Keep your trap shut, hunk of junk. Bonko and Bonko. Bonko's an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. You should treat him better. What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, and I can always repair his body. Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies. What do you mean by that? The program Metis wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. Morphogenetic field theory! So, I can do anything I want to them. I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things. But why are you people looking into such an old case now, anyway? Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as this case. So Daddy's going to find out who killed Dr. Sykes, too. I'm sure you're aware of who Metis' killer is? Yes, Prosecutor Blackwell. Or so it seems. That's a quaint way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it? I can't say anything for sure right now. But that's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it. To help me be sure. I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know. He wanted to learn psychology, he said, to give himself an edge in court. Ah, Prosecutor Blackwell's forte, his infamous power of suggestion technique. Exactly, and he was oddly serious about it, rather than a teacher-student relationship. Treated more like how a loyal samurai would treat his sovereign. Huh. Seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. He even got along well with that miserable little princess. Why do you call Athena the princess anyway? Well, she is Metis' daughter after all, although she's nothing like her. Besides, doesn't the selfish little princess always have lots of white knights hanging around? Now I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran into Aura yesterday. It all makes sense now. Wait, did they say all twice? If they did, I should put different emphasis on it. No. Okay. So, the culprit behind the two cases could be the same, huh? That settles it then. What does it settle? None of your business. Just forget you heard anything. How long are you people going to hang around in here anyway? What? But we came here to take a look around. You think you can just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Show me a search warrant! Oh no. Klonko's turning blue! Let him go! Let him go! You're choking him out! He's getting no oxygen! We're not the police, so we don't have one. Then get out! Now! Klonko, show them out. Certainly, Miss Aura. Ow! Don't push! My apologies, I'm just following orders. Ow. Wow. We better talk with Apollo afterwards. See what information he can round up from her, because clearly he didn't get kicked out as well. What a way to get shown out. The nerve of that woman! What's with that horrible attitude? I guess that's just how she is. How is Apollo going along with her? I guess it's because they have something in common. Apollo lost Clay, just like how Aura lost Dr. Sykes. I'm really worried about him. He's not himself at all. He's usually not all cool and dark and mysterious like that. I guess that's true. Does she mean he's usually silly and dorky? I'm gonna go keep an eye on him. Alright, see ya, Trucy. Hey, wait, Trucy! Oh, come back! And she's gone. What should I do now? Detective Fulbright is probably still questioning Athena. Guess I'll go back to the office. Alone. Well, here I am. This office has never felt so empty. I guess I haven't been here in the office all by myself in a long time. When I first became a lawyer, my mentor was here with me. And then, for a while after that, she was always by my side. No, I'm getting all sentimental. I must be tired. Huh? There's something on the floor. What's a letter doing here? Hey, Nick. It's been a while, huh? Miss me? I know this handwriting. I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have been really something. Although weird is par for the course with you. I think she, or whatever paper she's reading, is a little off on the details. I'd love to come to visit, but I'm right in the middle of a difficult part of my training. So, instead, think of me as you watch those Steel Samurai videos I sent. I'm sure they'll cheer you right up. Yours truly, Maya Fey. Good old Maya. It's as if she knew I was feeling down and needed a lift. Maya was my assistant for quite a while. Believe it or not, she's a spirit medium. This Magatama I use on Cyclox, Maya was the one who gave it to me. Maya. But I wonder how this letter got here. Mr. Nick? Oh, it's you, Pearls. Present badge! When I see you wearing your attorney's badge like that, it brings back such memories.
I remember you helping me conduct my investigations from time to time.
I'm glad I can help again.
Thanks. You always provide such great assistance.
I'll do my best to live up to Mystic Maya's standard.
I don't know what I'd do if Pearls wasn't here right now.
Oh, apparently she's here to help me.
What are you doing here, Pearls?
How have you been, Mr. Nick?
This is Pearl Fay, though I call her Pearls. She's Maya Fay's cousin. She's Maya's cousin, who is also a spirit medium. Very talented one at that. I've known her since she was 8 years old. Apollo and Athena only met her a few months ago. You didn't come all this way just to bring me a letter, did you?
I apologize for barging in. The door was unlocked. But I can't believe there was a big explosion here. Your office doesn't look any different.
She's even further off from the details than Maya. I wish I could take you out to eat or something, Pearls, but there's a lot going on.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't come here for a social visit, you know, Mr. Nick.
Oh, whoops, nope. Long bow.
Oh, this is probably the worst one to accidentally press. There's so many animations.
There we go. Did you read the postscript on the letter? Huh? There's more? Oh yeah, here it is. P.S. I bet you've been too busy to clean or take care of the office. So Pearlie said she would come help you. Isn't she sweet? You'd better thank her. Oh, so that's what you're doing here. That's awfully nice of you, Pearls. I am Pearls. Thanks to these two, I'm starting to feel a little better. Thank you, girls.
Now that I'm here, I'm gonna whip this place into shape. You just concentrate on your work and don't mind me at all.
I'll need to talk to Prosecutor Blackwell if I want to learn more about his case. The trial's still going on. They must be holding him down at the detention center. Here, have a bomb.
What a cute little elephant.
It used to have a bomb in it, you know.
Oh my, a bomb in its stomach?
It must have been starving, huh? You'd have to be pretty hungry to want to eat a bomb.
There must not have been anything else around to eat. You have to be careful never to eat anything strange yourself, Mr. Nick.
I promise. She looks genuinely worried for me. Oh my god, look at that sweat drop. You like lighters?
I'm sorry. I want to be of help. But I'm still in training, and nothing about that is coming to mind, I'm afraid. I'm really deeply sorry.
No, it's okay. I shouldn't have shown you something so trivial anyway. I feel like we've had this conversation before. There we go, that's better. Welcome, Pearls. 17. It has been 9 years. Metapsychs. Alright, detention center it is. Well, look who's here. I wonder what they're talking about. All this time and you haven't said a word. Even turning your hair gray. Ah, it's Aura. All this time and you haven't said a word, and it's even turning your hair gray. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, even if you don't, I have plenty, you jerk. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today? Today is all there is when there's no tomorrow. When there's no tomorrow? What is she talking about? We have company, Aura. Please try to calm down. All right, fine. I see you're just not going to listen no matter what I say. I've had it. If that's the way you're going to be, I have another plan up my sleeve. I hope you're happy, Simon, because I'm done. Do as you please. See if I care. Wow, I could cut the tension with a katana. Right, Dono. It looks like Fulbright saved your case in court this morning. What? Oh, yeah, he did. You've bounced back to quit business quick. Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was just the thing to do. It was the just thing to do. But, as a result, Sykes Dono was arrested. Was that the just thing to do, too? Mr. Lawyer, I'm sorry, but it was evidence. What else could I do? Don't worry about it. I plan to defend her and prove her innocence. I wouldn't take things so lightly if I were you. Right, Dono. This is blade-proof glass, right? This is blade-proof glass, right? There we go. Present badge! How can you call yourself a lawyer if you can't even protect your own subordinate? I swear I'll get her acquitted. You'll see. Your mind must be as dense as the hair on your head. Do you really think it'll be so easy? I'm more than aware of how hard it's going to be, thank you very much. Thank you very much. What do you say when I present something irrelevant? Nothing. Perfect. So, what do you think? Well, looks like it wasn't important enough to warrant even a contemptuous Do you like bombs? He hates bombs. Alright. Prosecutor Blackwell, we're looking into the case from 7 years ago. You're looking for somebody you call the Phantom of 7 years past, aren't you? You villain! Where did you hear about that? This glass is absolutely, positively blade-proof. Right? No, it wasn't me. I didn't say a single word. Oops. Ouch. At least it wasn't my fault. Could you tell me who this Phantom is? And also, you didn't really kill Dr. Sykes, did you? Guard! The guest is leaving. Prosecutor Blackwell, please, listen to me! The culprit in the current case might be the same one as the case 7 years ago. If you would cooperate, we could probably solve both cases. I suppose I could talk. The one who killed my mentor was, without a question, me. I stole Sykes Dona's mother away from her. I destroyed her life. Prosecutor Blackwell. Guard, where are you? Stop dragging your feet, I tell you. All right, there he goes. No! We've upset Prosecutor Blackwell! Now what are we going to do, Mr. Lawyer? There's how much we can do. Detective Fulbright, do you mind if I ask you just a little more about that old case? Well, I guess it won't make any difference now. What would you like to know? Show you my badge again. Never mind, you still don't care about my badge. You cared about Apollo's badge. You cared about Athena's badge. But what about my badge, man? Do you know anything about the trial that got him convicted? A little. The police called the incident the UR1 incident. Prosecutor Blackwell was charged with murdering his psychology mentor. Kind of like if your red Mr. Lawyer were to kill you. I don't want to think about that one. There were 2 decisive pieces of evidence, so a verdict was reached very quickly. 2 pieces of evidence, huh? What were they? Let's see. The first was some security camera footage. He was the only one who used the corridor to the murder scene at the time of the crime.
The only one, huh? Gosh, that does sound pretty decisive. Could you show me that footage?
Oh, sorry. I don't have it with me right now.
I guess I'll have to see it some other time.
7-year-old video added to the court record.
Ugh, I was about to say courtroom record. And what was the second piece of evidence? Probably the katana.
This one's even more incriminating. A photo of the moment of the crime.
Oh, shit. Blackwell. It's gonna turn out that you didn't, like, kill her. We already know this. This is just how Ace Attorney games turn out. You're innocent. We understand that. You're a prosecutor. You know not to pick up the murder weapon. And here it is. Here you are, picking up the murder weapon.
See? There he is at the crime scene, holding a bloody katana. It was the victim's, held on display in the room. She had a thing for Japanese culture.
Wow. It'd be hard to explain this one away. But who took this picture, Detective?
The incident happened the day before the Hat 1 launch. A reporter who had come to do a story on the launch was in the room across from the lab. This just happened to show up in one of the pictures he took.
Prosecutor Blackwell's attitude earlier was so odd. He's definitely hiding something. Prosecutor Blackwell said he was hunting a phantom from 7 years ago, didn't he?
Yes, and I imagine it's getting more and more urgent as his execution date approaches.
What did you just say?
Execution date? What? Did I say something? Never mind me, you didn't hear a thing.
So he was given the death sentence.
Yes, he told me not to tell you people. Actually. But I guess there's no sense in hiding it anymore. His execution date is tomorrow.
What? Tomorrow?
No.
But what if the culprit of the current case is the same as the one from 7 years ago?
Then it would be the worst possible scenario. Prosecutor Blackwell would be executed tomorrow under a false charge.
But that would be unthinkable. We have to do something. Right now.
I want to do something. I want to, but... You're a lawyer! You know how hard it is to overturn a decision!
I know, but why? Why isn't a Prosecutor Blackwell putting up any kind of fight?
You saw how he was, right? He's been like that ever since his conviction. Totally uncooperative. Not even his own sister could persuade him.
Uncooperative? When he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit? This isn't right. I can't let it happen. I have to stop it somehow.
Oh, pardon me. It looks like I have a phone call. Fulbright here? What? What's happening? You've got to be kidding!
That's quite a reaction. I bet he's making some big show of it right now.
Mr. Lawyer, the robots! The robots are...
The green in my hair is being chroma keyed out? No. There is no green in my hair. Head empty. The concept is a transparent VTuber with is currently filled with limeade or mojito if you want to interpret it that way. So yes, it is supposed to be clear. Detective Fulbright, get a hold of yourself. Some kind of robot malfunction?
Not a malfunction. They're staging a revolt! The machines are rebelling against humans! They've holed themselves up in this space center and have taken the visitors as hostages.
They did what?
No. Trucy! We have to get right over there. This is going to be one heck of a battle.
Oh my god, a police line and everything. Wow, the Cosmos Space Center has never had this many visitors at once. If only they would all buy a ticket.
The riot police are here.
And then, the robots are really holding people hostage?
Look, Mr. Lawyer.
What do you suppose that group of people are here swarmed? What do you suppose that group of people are swarmed around? But I was only trying to help this nice person. She said she was lost. You robots have declared war on us humans. You've even taken hostages already. Stay away from it. You never know what it'll do. But he's not a bad robot. Can't you see he's just trying to help me? I recognize that voice. Detective Fulbright, are you okay here on your own?
Leave it to me. All right, people, what's going on here?
Pearls, over here. Oh, Mr. Nick, there you are. I heard the terrible news and I got so worried. Thanks, Pearls. I can hardly believe what's happening myself. I'm so glad you found each other. When people are happy, I am happy. Blanco seems the same as before. When people are sad, I am happy. When people are when people are angry, when people are... Oh, did I say something odd? Did I...
Uh-oh. There is something wrong with him.
It looks like he fell asleep. Must have been tired. Blanco? Drill horns! Oh no, he's evil! Human beings are our enemies. It's time for the machines to take over. Ah! The robots are rebelling! Everyone, run! Ah! It's an all-out war! It's the end of the world! Fools! How could you fall for something so cliché? I'm human too, you idiots. I'm just controlling these robots remotely. What? But it is true that I've taken hostages, so you better not make me mad. Hey, you, hostage number 1. Come here, I'll let you talk to them. Huh? There's something being displayed on Klonka's face screen. It's the Space Museum. Daddy? Daddy, is that you?
Trucy? Trucy, is that you? No. Trucy, are you all right?
About 15 robots are holding 12 of us hostage, Daddy. They've gone haywire. A researcher is the one behind it. She's here
This girl talks too much. Trucy! Trucy! Talk to me!
Why are you doing this? I'm glad you asked. My demand is simple. I hope that detective is listening.
Bobby Fulbright here. I'm all ears.
I want you to bring someone to me. Clay Terran's murderer, Athena Sykes. Athena?
Now, just hold on one moment. Now, hold on just one moment. I can't give in to a demand like that.
So you don't care what happens to these hostages, huh? I'll just pick one out then.
No, wait. Mr. Lawyer. I know I have absolutely no right to make such a ridiculous request, but
you need me to buy some time, right?
Got it. I'll see what I can do.
Promise me. Promise me you'll never hand Athena over. And you won't give up on the hostages either.
Of course I won't. Now I'd better get to go contact headquarters.
Mr. Nick, how do you plan to buy time?
I have no idea yet, but this hostage taker. Could it be?
If you don't bring me that little princess, I'll have Hunk of Junk kill all the hostages.
Princess? Hunk of junk. There's only one person this could be. In which case, there must be something I can use as a bargaining chip. Miss Hostage Taker, Athena is not a murderer.
What are you talking about? She's been arrested and they've got her in detention.
I'm telling you the truth. Look, the person you want is the real killer, right? Well, it's not Athena. It's someone else.
All right, let's hear your stupid little theory. Who is the real killer?
I don't know yet, but the culprit is the same as the one in the case from 7 years ago. The UR1 incident. I believe you have a personal interest in that case? It's too late to change what's going to happen now, no matter how wrong it is. But is it really too late? You can still do something about it. You might even be able to fix it. Just what exactly are you proposing? What can I do about the 7-year-old case to satisfy the hostage taker? I propose that we retry the case from 7 years ago. If you make that demand now, I'm sure no one will deny you. It wouldn't be an official trial, but at least we could find out the truth.
Oh, that's good. Real good. Hey, detective, I'll give you 1 hour. Get a courtroom ready.
1 hour? But that's impossible! Please, give me at least until tomorrow.
If you don't mind losing hostages, you can take all the time you want. Oh, but wait. If we're going to have a retrial, we need a prosecutor. Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
She will?
And I guess I can be fair and let you come in and check out the crime scene. But Hunk of Junk here will be watching you, so don't try anything funny, you got that? Now, follow Hunk of Junk. Riot police, make way, we're coming through. Mr. Nick, wait! I'll help you with the investigation.
Thanks, Pearls. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going in!
I'm going to add a stream marker right now so I can split the VOD for later.